All right, so let's talk Arrow Season 5, Episode 8, Invasion. This is the crossover episode for Arrow. And I have to say, yes, there's something about these. Oh, don't mind the hat. No, it's not that cold in here. It is a little cold outside. It's raining. But I found the hat in my drawer. I remember I had this, and I like it, so I'm wearing it. Anyway, back to what I was saying. These crossover episodes this week, do you have to be a person who kept up with the shows to enjoy and understand everything that's going on? No, not really, not everything. The aliens, they're new to us. They're new to Barry, the Flash, Oliver, Supergirl, all of them. But yes, the relationships between the people and the chemistry, you have to be a fan of the show. So that kind of sucks. But at the same time, I mean, you have to be a fan of the show if you join the show at any moment, any point. If you start keeping up from that point on, it works. But back to what I was saying about Arrow. This episode was one of the best episodes I had to say in the last 3 seasons. That's right. Ever since season 2, Arrow has sort of declined a little bit. The beginning of season 5 of Arrow really seemed to remind us of what we liked from the first 2 seasons of Arrow. But now, this episode was like a nostalgia overload for Arrow. I mean, they had Malcolm Merlin, they had Damien Dark, Deathstroke. Now, we didn't get to see Manuel Bennett's face or anything. It was always Deathstroke in his outfit, but that was good enough for us. Oliver, some members of Legend like Sarah and Ray, they got captured at the end of the Flash episode by the aliens. They got beamed up, and like, what happened to them? Well, it turns out that they probably in some kind of like Matrix type of mind control thing where they thought they were living out their perfect life. I mean, I think it was more so a distraction or anything. In this world that was constructed with them being hooked into this alien ship or whatever, Diggle was Green Arrow. Oliver's mom, Oliver's dad was alive. Tommy was supposedly alive. I think Malcolm said he's a doctor in Chicago somewhere. It'd have been nice to see the guy who played Tommy to appear on the show, but he didn't. But anyway, back to what I was saying. I have to say, Diggle was a hell of a Green Arrow. He had some style. The way he came down off the wall and stopped the guy who was robbing Oliver and his father. That was kind of a coincidence. He was like, they were walking through a dark alley. Why do they do that? Why do people do that in these movies, these shows? They walk through dark alleys. Somebody's going to try to kill you or stick you up. But Oliver got saved by Diggle as Green Arrow, and Oliver was having visions of a life that was different than what he's experiencing now, and he actually got into the Arrow bunker. Felicity didn't know him, not personally, but she knows he's Oliver Queen because he's a billionaire, and she's like, oh my god, we got an intruder, and then Diggle just drops down from the ceiling in the coolest way I've ever seen Green Arrow ever do, and that was pretty awesome seeing Diggle as Green Arrow. They had some people from Legends, not too many of them, mainly people who already appeared on Arrow, and like I said, it was a nostalgic overload with a lot of the tragedy that happened in Oliver's family, and not just his family, but things that happened between him and his friends and the villains, some of the main villains. Even Arrow's new team was there. I mean, you had Mr. Terrific, Curtis. You had Wild Dog. Although that girl wasn't there. Yeah, the one that seems to be working with Prometheus. She wasn't there. Ragman, who I like. I think he's a nice addition to Arrow. He has superpowers, but it's not too extraordinary like some energy blasts or anything. Overall, this episode was just pretty good. A lot of emotional depth. Detective Lance and his daughters were alive. I mean, it starts off with Oliver and Laura Lance. She was alive and they're engaged, they're living together. It was nice to see her. I know a lot of people don't really enjoy Laura Lance. I think Sarah was a better Black Canary. I liked her because they introduced her as Black Canary first, and I liked her look and everything. I really didn't like Laurel's Black Canary. I really didn't. But I liked Laurel in season 1 and in season 2. I thought she, in this episode really brung back to remind us who Oliver really was in love with. You did get to see Barry and Supergirl for a quick moment. They stopped some woman who was still in tech and, upgrading her body with it. It was cool. It was, I mean, they squeezed them in there. They squeezed them in there. But it stayed really centered on a lot of Arrow's main, interest and things that was going on in that show. But I liked it overall. I thought it was good. Very emotional. I like emotional episodes when they come off pretty good. It wasn't like we were screaming for more action during the emotional sequences because I just thought it was overall, it was just like a reunion. And it was really nice. Oliver's parents and Laura Lance being alive and stuff like that. Come back tomorrow because I will be doing a review of Recap for Legends, and that should be phenomenal, off the hook. I mean, this is the last of the crossover invasion for this week. CW is really nailing it with these shows. The writing is so good on Flash, and it's getting really good again on Arrow. I'm just excited for everything they're doing. CW, you're killing the shows. Keep it up. Bring more shows, man. Give us more. Give us more DC characters on here. Anyway, let me know what you think. Leave some comments. Like the video if you like the video. Share and subscribe it. And I'll see you next time.